Hi, if you're new at screen printing, you may have heard of a step test to determine the proper exposure for your emulsion, and it can be a little hard to describe how to do it, so I decided to make this little video to sort of visually show how to do it. Now, there are step calculators, which are continuous tone pieces of film. You can buy one of those and do this in one step, but if you don't want to buy it, or if you just want to get started, just make your own like this. This is a piece of film here, and I printed out some halftones, 80% up here, 20% down here. These are some skinny half point lines, and then this is some reverse half point lines, and just a black square at the bottom. Now I'll get a screen here, and I'll tape this down so that it doesn't move, and then I'm going to get myself a black piece of paper, and it can be any kind of paper, construction paper, whatever. You can even use amber lith or ruby lith, and if you even know what that is, it's kind of old-fashioned. But anyway, all we want to do is stop the exposure here. So your ideal exposure is going to depend on two things: the type of emulsion that you have and your light source. So you might see something on the internet that says expose your screen for 10 minutes. That doesn't mean anything, because it might be 1 minute, it might be 30 seconds, it might be an hour, depending on what you have. Some high-speed emulsions combined with high-speed exposure units can expose the screen in a few seconds, or you can expose it with a UV fluorescent light bulb, and it could be as long as 40 minutes. I've done screens in the sunshine for 1 minute, and then using the same emulsion and a light bulb, it takes 40 or even longer. So don't try to follow advice on what your exposure should be. It's going to depend on what you have for your emulsion and your light source. So I'm going to expose this screen for 5 minutes. I'm just being arbitrary. That's probably way too low, but let's start there. Okay, once I've exposed it for 5 minutes, it's taped down so it won't move. I'm going to take my piece of paper right here and put that over a little bit of it. Expose it for another 5 minutes. Then move that paper again, 5 more minutes, and on until you get to the end. Now at the end it should be 40-45 minutes, so you'll have a wide range of exposures that you can compare. And then after you rinse your screen, you'll see a noticeable difference between each step of the exposure. This is way underexposed down here, starting to rinse out some of this stuff, and over here it's starting to disappear, so that's overexposed. So what you're going to do is figure out where in here you like it the best. These dots seem to be holding, these dots are rinsing out properly, these lines are holding, these reverse lines are rinsing out properly. So you're going to say, okay, this is the best one. So you remember that we started at 5 minutes, and we went up by 5-minute intervals. So 5, 10, 15, 20, let's go here, 25. Now you can say my exposure time with this light and this emulsion is 25 minutes. So you're ready to go. From now on, you can burn all your screens at 25 minutes. You can always adjust it up or down depending on what's on the screen. If it's big, bold shapes, you can hit it harder. If you got some really light halftones, you might want to back off on it a little bit. But about 25 minutes is going to be your exposure in this. So that's the step test, and I hope your next project goes well.